G'day guys, Dave Lee coming at you once again. In this video I'll be taking a look at the latest release from Universal Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Directed by Chris Sun and starring John Jarratt, Bill Moseley, Roger Ward, Hugh Sheridan, Simone Buchanan, Ernie Dingo and an enormous killer pig. It is Boar. A rural Australian town has been plagued by a recent string of livestock killings and missing persons, and rumours of a legendary giant beast on the loose and running riot for blood are beginning to swirl. However, the beast, an enormous wild boar, isn't just a myth, it's real, and it's closing in on civilization and taking down anyone who stands in its way. Now you probably know if you follow my channel regularly that slasher horror, blood and gore films aren't exactly my cup of tea. However, I do have a love for classic monster movies and do have a pretty big soft spot for classic Aussie exploitation cinema, or Ozploitation cinema. Boar is an Aussie creature feature, as director Chris Sun calls it, and on first thought it certainly does call to mind the 1984 Ozploitation film Razorback. And while both movies do feature a giant wild pig killing a whole bunch of people, the similarities do stop there. In fact, I felt that Boar thematically seems to take more of its inspiration from classic Universal horror movies of the 1930s and 40s, more so than Aussie exploitation films of the 1980s, or even the similar British Hammer horror films of the 60s and 70s. Though I wouldn't call the movie all that scary, Sun does set up an incredibly spooky, chilling and compelling atmosphere in Boar from the very beginning. Though we do get some great sequences with the fantastic animatronic boar, it's the sequences where Sun doesn't show us the boar that are the most frightening. There's something quite terrifying and quite classic in what we don't see as opposed to what we do. I feel that that's something that cinema has kind of lost over the years, and it's great to see Sun do it so well here. He is an incredibly competent director, and I would love to see what he could do with a larger canvas, if that's something that he'd ever be interested in. While most Ozploitation features like Razorback or the slasher films from Hammer focused mostly on gratuitous blood and gore, Boar manages to focus a little bit more on story and substance. Yes, there is a lot of graphic blood and gore, and yes, most of the film's horror shock value does come from it. I never felt that this was just done for the sake of it. It only ever really serves the story, and while fairly basic, Boar's story is entertaining, fun, and completely gripping. The cast in Boar is pretty much what you'd expect from an indie slasher horror film. These guys aren't exactly the greatest actors you've ever seen, and their performances are full of cheese, but they suit the movie just fine, and I kind of feel like this is the whole point of it. It's also wonderful to see some legendary Aussie actors like John Jarratt and Roger Ward hammered up on the screen, and while these two are great, Ernie Dingo is an absolute highlight and a whole lot of fun. Again, I'm not usually a huge fan of this kind of thing, but I did enjoy my time with Boar, and I can easily see it being a hit with those who may be more in the film's target audience. At that, I will happily award the movie with a 3 out of 5. Boar is a fun and entertaining Aussie slasher film, evoking not only shades of Razorback and Road games, but classic horror films like The Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm not huge on blood and gore, but the movie's classic vibe and a dash of Aussie humour is enough to get me through comfortably. Boar is available now on Blu-ray and DVD from Universal Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, and is also available on digital platforms. Thanks to my wonderful new friends over at Universal Sony Pictures Home Entertainment for providing me with a screener of Boar for the purposes of this review, and thanks to everybody for watching. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, you like what you've seen, you'd like to see more like this in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen right now, and also hit that like button down below if you're feeling extra generous. Also, don't forget to check out my many social media accounts, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.